Russ. Yeah, I'm coming out of Costco. Yep, my daily obsession. All right, let's wait for this one car to go by, and we can get out of here too. All right, so I went to Costco for a specific reason. I was looking for gloves. Yeah, you might say, well, you got gloves? I'm thinking I needed to find another pair of thinner gloves than the one I usually wear here in the car. I had one, I should say. Yeah, I had one, but I used it for a review because, you know, it was cold outside when I was doing these e-bike reviews, so I wore it going there, but I think I took it off doing the review and put it in my pocket. Haven't seen it ever since then. I think it probably fell out of my pocket. I probably forgot about it. It fell out of my pocket and it's gone. Yeah, so I went to Costco to see if I can get another pair, but unfortunately, all winter stuff is gone. Yeah, I needed those things because, you know, sometimes as I'm riding, I don't want to use my half-fingered gloves that I usually wear when I'm riding my e-bike. And if it's cold, the full-fingered gloves pay off. I mean, if I can't find it, I'll have no choice but to use these. These are kind of heavy. You know, these are your typical winter-style gloves. The other ones are thinner. Oh, well. It's too late. It's already gone. Seasonal product. I always wondered, what do they do with the seasonal product? Because they always come back the next year. Did they just store it somewhere? They just ship it out and store it and then bring it back to the stores? I have no idea. Some items they discount, right? There's secret codes at Costco, in case you don't know. There's like an asterisk after the price. Whenever you see that, that means that item's never coming back. And that's usually the lowest price you can get. If I think it's something like if an item ends with a 97 cents at the end of it, that means the manager has discounted it. You know, it's not Costco or something. Typically, they always end in something 99 cents, right? So you have to look for these things. And there might be a couple other secret codes, too, that I don't know about. Well, I know, but I probably don't remember. So, yeah, always look for the secret coded items because you can save some money that way. But, yeah, what do they do with the seasonal items that, you know, like Christmas items and stuff? What do they do with those things? Sometimes they sell it off, sometimes they don't. I mean, like the gloves, obviously they're going to sell it again next year. You always see it every year. I always got an itch on my nose. You always see it every year. Where does it go when they take it off the shelves? They can't be storing everything in the back of the warehouse. I mean, they try to use the warehouse as much as they can, and they put things out. They don't like just store everything in the back. So anyways, that's that. Now, here's an interesting topic that could probably be gross for some people. So if this grosses you out, feel free to turn it off. But I learned about a different type of funeral service from my friend Stacy. Now, I don't know how he knew about this, but he told me about it. So I looked it up on the internet. You can look it up. I'm not going to put any photos up here, okay? But it's called a standing funeral. Look up standing funeral. But I'll forewarn you, you're going to see some things there that you're going to think, wow, that's just weird. Standing funeral. I didn't know what it meant. I said, like, does that mean that people go to the funeral home, there's no chairs, and they stand there for the funeral? No, that's not what it means, okay? What it means is the person who's deceased is actually posed and standing. He's not in the casket or anything like that. He's just posed and standing. Or sitting, you know, depending how they pose him. It's almost like a wax figure. Now, that's just weird to me. I mean, that is just weird. I've never heard of such a thing before. It's called a standing funeral. Yeah. Check it out if you dare. Have you ever heard of this? Let me know in the comments before or if you've heard of it. And then let me know if you actually went and checked this thing out after I told you about it. I want to see how many people actually want to go and see this. Yeah, they got photos on some standing funerals. But anyway, so he asked me, he says, if you were to have a standing funeral for yourself, I won't, what kind of pose do you want to be in? So I had to think about this one, right? I says, okay, well, what kind of pose? I said, flying sidekick. You know what a flying sidekick looks like? Think about martial arts. Think about Bruce Lee doing a flying sidekick. Okay. He goes, you can't do flying sidekick. What's going to hold you up in the air? I don't know, a pole? I don't know. He says, you can't do flying sidekick. I says, oh, okay. The reason I picked flying sidekick was, that's the thing that messed my knee up, was martial arts, right? A lot of kicking. So I says, yeah, something that represents you. I says, okay, if I can't do that, then maybe me sitting on an e-bike, riding my e-bikes. I don't know, if you were invited to a funeral service and they told you it was going to be a standing funeral, would you go to this? What? I'm thinking, who would do something like that? It's almost like taxidermy. Why would you do that? It's just weird. I've never heard of such a thing. Let me know if you've ever heard of such a thing. Yeah, this is the weird things we talk about sometimes. Yep, we do. So anyway, very strange. Yeah, very, very strange. So what's the weather like here? Most of the snow has disappeared. I'm looking here, I see a little remnant of some snow on some of this grass, but most of it is gone at this point. But it's still cold. It said that this week is still going to be, in the 40s. Maybe hit 50, something like that. But it's the wind chill that gets you. It's pretty windy today, they said. So yeah, I won't be riding my e-bike anytime soon. I'm glad I got the reviews done when I did. It's at this time of the year when stuff comes in, when the weather hits, whether you feel like doing it or not, you got to go out and do it, because you may not have another opportunity to do so. Yeah. I released the mobility scooter video, and this will be the third time I'm talking about the review, and then I talked a little bit about it on the last one. I'll talk a little bit about it on this one. The mobility scooter is kind of interesting. I've kind of been an advocate for those who have disabilities. I never was until I started having a disability. Yeah, I remember my nephew when he was younger. He says, why does he have this handicap thing? He's not handicapped. And my sister goes, well, technically he is. I mean, he sees me walking around, right? Just like you guys always see me walking around sometimes when I'm doing reviews and things. I ride an e-bike, come on. So how is he handicapped? But technically I am. I can't walk long distances currently now due to my hips, more so than my knees. My knees don't feel bad at all at this point. I mean, they feel perfectly fine, but my hips have gone, yeah. So I use the mobility scooter just to get around if I have to walk some distance. It's just like when we did the, what was it? The Volo Auto Museum, right? I rode the scooter around for that because it's too much walking for me. I mean, it's not a huge place, but still it's enough walking that my hips would eventually start feeling it. I already told you that I can feel it in my hips just walking from the front of the Costco warehouse to the back of the Costco warehouse, turn around and start heading back. My hips are already hurting. Yeah, it's pretty bad, right? So it's rubbing, it just doesn't have the cushioning I guess it should have so that you can walk properly. So I use a mobility scooter, I don't use, I used theirs a couple of times when my knee was a problem. I had to get around. They have the slowest scooters in the world, okay? Let me tell you this about these scooters. If you're thinking that mobility scooter that I did a review for is about the same slowness of a scooter that you get at a grocery store or at a Costco, it is not. It's at least 2 times as fast as those things. Those things are really slow, okay? They barely move. Well, the thing is, you can't go too fast inside a store. You probably crash into the, into the aisles and stuff accidentally. So they limit the speed of those things. But these scooters that the people buy, that like the scooter that I reviewed, they go about 5 miles an hour. On average 4.5 to 5 miles an hour. So that is considered a fast-paced walking speed. In fact, I've been on the scooter with some of my field trips that I take that I took my photography students on, I go faster than they can walk, okay? So I'm usually leaving them in the dust. I go so far up that I just have to stop and wait until they catch up to me. So they go fast. Now you can slow it down. There's a variable speed thing there. But it really, to me, having the scooter opens me up to a lot of things that I can do that I wasn't able to do before I had something like the scooter. So this is why I still will do things like the review of mobility scooters when they contact me about them. Because first off, the knee replacement guys are still watching on the Russ's Right channel. They always watch my videos. It still goes. Those videos just keep going. People are interested because they have knee issues. But most of them don't need the scooter if they've already gone through the knee replacement. They're usually after a while they may be okay. They don't need the scooter, but for the short term they might. But it's the people who, as they're getting older sometimes, like for me, I kind of refuse to go get my hips taken care of because it's not bad enough that I can't walk. I just can't walk a long distance before I feel it. I like using the scooter. It's just easier for me. I can go longer times and farther places. When Mrs. Wright and I went to Washington, D.C., we went all over the National Mall, which is where all the museums and everything are. She was so tired out from all the walking because she didn't have a scooter. I had no problem. I was scooting all over the place. I kept telling her, I says, we should get you a scooter so that you can just scoot. She refuses to do it. She goes, I don't have a problem. I go, but the point is that had she had the scooter, we could have gone all over the place for a lot longer periods of time, but she was tiring out. And I'm just scooting all over the place. Yeah, I got yelled at by Secret Service there. Did I tell you that story? I think I did. In the Russ's Right channel. You probably missed it, especially if you're relatively new or within the last couple of years you didn't hear the story. But yeah, I got yelled at by Secret Service. Yeah, we were looking for the White House, and we knew we were close, okay? We knew we were very, very close, within a block or two. We couldn't see it. I mean, if you're on the ground and you don't know the actual streets, the layout, Pennsylvania Avenue, right? But you don't know where Pennsylvania Avenue is if you don't normally live in the Washington, D.C. area. You just know the address. And you can't see it anywhere because you're on the ground. So I saw there was a driveway there. There were just Secret Service guys, had a little outpost thing there. So I rode up on the driveway to go ask a question, and the guy came out and yelled at me. He says, sir, do you know where you are? You're on government property. I'm going, just wanted to ask a question. I'm on a mobility scooter, okay? What am I gonna do? Of course, I guess you could have something like a bomb or something on it. So I said, no, I just had a question. I just wanted to ask you a question where the White House was. He says, well, next time, wave us over. I said, I tried to do that, but that's what I was thinking, but, I would just get more in trouble if I would explain why I rode up on their driveway. He says, next time, just wave us over. We'll come over. I go, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, so I got yelled at by Secret Service. Yeah, and then another guy told me where the White House was. Good cop, bad cop, right? One guy got to yell at you, the other guy's got to be nice and tells you the story. Then he did kind of mention, he didn't mention, but he kind of gave me the look like this guy's just like power hungry. He had to yell at me. I should have played the, I don't know. Don't speak English. What would he do then? I don't know. It's kind of funny. You got to find the humor in everything, okay? If you can't find the humor in everything, you don't have a fun life. All right, that's about all I have for you guys for today. Anyways, if you found this humorous, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know about this standing funeral thing, if you've ever heard of such a thing. And then let me know if you actually went and checked it out, okay? I'm telling you, it's kind of gross. That's not gross, but the concept is kind of gross. Who would do that? Standing funeral. All right, I'll talk to you guys next time.